Welcome to meditation. And today's meditation, I wanted to explore one of the things that in my own personal experience can create a little bit of, or a lot of, a dampener on life or daily experience. And that is a deep-rooted, and I think many of us have this, a deep-rooted fear of pain and death. Deep-rooted fear of pain and death. And I remember when I was young, maybe I was 8 or 9 years old, and I was just starting to develop the ability to think logically and abstract ideas and stuff. And I remember I was musing over death, or maybe my fish had died or something had happened. And I was just thinking and kind of logically concluding one thing to the next and realized, oh, one day my parents will die. And it made me really sad. I remember crying that night as I was falling asleep with that realization. And then as I've gotten older, that reality gets closer and closer. I remember in high school when the first death we had in our high school among the high school kids, it was such a huge, monumental, emotional impact on all of us in the class. And it was obviously because it was the first time any of us had a peer, the same age group pass away. And it was just, it's such an awakening moment. And then, of course, as I've gotten older, see people, more people pass away, people younger than me. You go through the grandparents passing away, the parents. And so it creates a real fear of death. And that fear of death is something that a spiritual philosophy talks about a lot. And some philosophies or religions conjecture certain things like, oh, when you die, if you live a good life, you're going to go to heaven where everything's going to be perfect. And or some traditions talk about reincarnation, that you'll die and you'll reincarnate into another body, another life. Or some talk about a real judgment. The ancient Egyptians talked about the judgment after death, our soul on one side and a feather on the other. And if our soul had taken on more weight than a feather, and the weight being from wrongs we had done, then we were cast down. And so that even that whole idea of judgment, growing up Roman Catholic, created a certain amount of fear. And then recently I was reading, and the author, spiritual writer, was saying how we so much look forward to a good night's sleep. We have our really comfortable bed, we fluff our pillows, we have our comfortable sheets and blankets, and we prepare our bed, and we're hopefully excited to have a good night's sleep. We really look forward to that. It's really pleasurable. And a good night's sleep, for me, it can encompass two things. One is really nice dreams, and the other is soundness, a sound sleep, just that really deep, deep sleep. And my teacher, so sleep, something we look forward to, and nice dreams. So my teacher, Sri Chinmoy, he wrote a book entitled Sleep, Death's Little Sister. So sleep, death's little sister. And I think because each of us has this existential challenge of facing our own death. And I think one of the really good, healthy, productive ways to muse over or contemplate the mystery of death is by thinking about sleep and dreams, And let's say theoretically that just like we know how good a good night's sleep feels, it's restful, there's nice dreams, and you wake up re-energized. What if we knew for a fact that was the same with death? if we knew as surely that death can be full of nice dreams, it can be deep and restful, and we can wake up from it. Imagine if we knew that as surely as we knew a good night's sleep. It would probably eliminate the fear of it, the fear of death. And so I think a good thing to muse in one's own life is to muse over and find the parallels or envision the parallels between sleep and death. The idea of dreams, going into dreams. So when we fall asleep, we don't like enter into a void of nothingness and existential crisis and all this. We fall into very nice dreams, hopefully, if we have peace in our mind. And we have a deep, sound, full rest. And so musing over the possibility of what if death is no different? Surely there's like the intensity of separation from that physical body that we don't go through in sleep, although we do leave our body. You know, your body's motionless in bed when you're dreaming, and you're off in another body running through the fields or at a dinner party, whatever you're doing, and your physical body is motionless. So imagine if the death, or muse over the idea that the death, what if the death is simply slipping into another dream, just like we take on another body in our sleep state, in the dream state. What if passing through into the realm of death is simply like a big sleep? It's longer or it's deeper, but it's the same thing. It's stepping into a world of dreams. And there's a good, I think, Robin Williams movie that's rooted in a lot of Buddhism and the philosophy of past that state. I think the Buddhists call it the bardo, the state between life and one life and the next. And so if in fact the element of the dreams taking on other bodies in our death and having different experiences, and then the idea of waking up fresh and energized. And for that, you can look at a child. It was recently Halloween. We were handing out candy to the children, and they're so enthusiastic, they're so happy, they're so hopeful, they're so full of wanting to learn. And so talk about like enthusiasm. And so where does that enthusiasm come from? Why is a child so full of enthusiasm for life, and someone else who might be older and full of more worries and woes is not? And so maybe that child has just, in a sense, woken up from a really good transition, or from a really good death, to put it in one way. The child woke up from a really restful death and now comes in to a new physical body with new enthusiasm. And so it's something that we can muse over in our own lives, or look for parallels between the possibility of sleep or death being like a big sleep. But even though it's maybe longer, or it involves our physical body shifting, but maybe in essence it's no different. And so that would be something to explore. And so in our meditation, in this meditation, we'll go into our meditative state, and then I'll offer a few verbal cues that can help with that exploration. So we'll begin just sitting up nice and straight, energizing our bodies, our spine, lifting and lengthening. And begin with some deep, slow, controlled breathing. Bring our body and mind to a state of calmness, or at least our body and our senses. Mind might be jumping around a little bit. Feeling the breath moving in and out through the nose. Double check that your jaw is relaxed. Open and close the eyes a few times. Gently let the eyelids close. Again, deep inhalations and exhalations. Begin with some conscious relaxation as you breathe in. Become aware of the muscles in your forehead and around your eyes. As you exhale, let those muscles release and relax. Inhale, awareness of the muscles in your cheeks and jaw. Exhale, releasing. Breathe in an awareness of the muscles in your chest, the deeper muscle of your heart. Inhale, feel the oxygen, the energy. Exhale, releasing. As you breathe in, feel your belly releasing. Exhale, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Here, feeling a sense of groundedness, a sense of personal power, courage. And now an overall feeling, awareness of your body as you breathe in. You could imagine a light surrounding your whole body, or if you can be aware of your skin surrounding your body. That feeling of the inhale fills your entire body, and the exhale releases. Bring your eyes to a point of stillness. Even though your eyelids are closed, you can gaze into the back of your eyelids. Hold your eyes still, breath is slow. Focus in as much as possible on the feeling of breath and the light or different shapes or forms that you see in the back of your eyelids. And notice at the same time how the awareness of your physical body starts to diminish. In fact, unless there's a specific pain or ache in your body, you can almost entirely let go of the awareness of your physical body. And this is what happens each night when we fall asleep. So concentration plus awareness of the diminishing sense of your physical body. Let's focus in on that. And now when we sleep at night, we fall into a dream state. And in that dream, we take on a dream body. And so what we'll do now is visualize yourself in a beautiful field. It can be a field of flour, a field of wheat. Use your imagination or a place you've been, your choice. What kind of day is it? Maybe there's a light breeze, a warm sun, pleasant sounds. And imagine yourself in that field. You can be running, jumping, sitting still, but just begin to form for yourself that dream body. Your awareness of your physical body is greatly diminished, so you can create a dream body in your mind, in a field, on a super pleasant day. And you're doing something, either sitting still or some type of movement. And add in or feel the emotion that this brings. We've all had pleasant days outdoors. Remember that feeling, link it into this imagery. Dreams are full of emotion and intensity, so can this moment be in the field. From life, we learn lessons. So too, from our dream life, we can learn lessons. So in this beautiful field, on this beautiful day, what is life teaching you? Now, if it's pleasant for you, what we'll do now is we'll envision our own passing, our physical death. But if it brings up any uncomfortable emotions, then I would stay with this pleasant field imagery. But the Death visualization would be to imagine yourself laying in a comfortable bed, passing away. Visualizing, taking a last breath. At that moment, the room dissolves into light because your senses are drawing inward, just like when you close your eyelids. And then visualize, imagine yourself falling into this beautiful dream of the field. So you can go through that cycle a few times of the body passing. And then just like we wake up from a good night's sleep feeling energized, if you want, you can visualize, imagine yourself taking on a new body. So you could envision yourself as an infant, childhood, full of enthusiasm, and almost create the environment you would want, that you do want in the next life. And now taking that whole complete picture of death, the final breaths in the bed, falling into dream, re-emerging to a new life. Step back from that process and see the joy in it, or see the naturalness. And then interlink it, connect it into the dream, the sleep experience that you have each night. See if this can help you let go of that fear of death. Turn it into a natural, beautiful process. And then slowly bring awareness back to your heart, to your awareness of your physical body in whatever seat you're in. Becoming aware of your solar plexus, movement of your belly as you breathe. Awareness of your heart, your lungs. Open your eyes a little bit, let in a little bit of light. And so in this exploration of the death experience, very deep meditation, and just musing in your own life over that idea of sleep being death's little sister, and what's the logic of thinking that they're any different in essence, sleep and death. Philosophies or religions might tell us they're different, but when you look at your day-to-day life and how life often always seems to mirror itself, you know, the big and the small, the microcosm, the macrocosm, share a lot in common, or their essence in common. So with the idea of sleep, dream, and death. Okay, so deep meditation. Nice having this experience with everyone. Again, if you want to explore more of this from a deep philosophical standpoint, the Tibetan Buddhism has a lot of things on this. There's the famous book, the Tibetan Book of the Living and Dead, of Living and Dying. I think that's the title. All right. Namaste.